Wrong button, that's embarrassing. Oh well. Hey, what is up, guys? We are live here. Another episode of CKL GameDay. Yep, no more M. Thank you, Nintendo. 7 followers until affiliate? Yeah, I didn't even realize. But yeah, I'll take followers. At this point, I think I'm at, what, 43-ish now? So yeah, it's like 50 for affiliate, so... Getting there. Almost there. For now, we'll see. How are we doing today? I'm a bit sick, so maybe the stream gets cut a bit short. We will see. So, because I'm like sweating my ass off right now. Combination of being hot and cold at the exact same time. Not fun, not fun. But hey, I only get to stream like once a week, so might as well stick it out through. What do we got today? A lot of stuff happening this past weekend to set up the playoff picture. We got an amazing set of playoffs here. Some Mickey Mouse teams making it in. Won't lie about that. And just some monumental upsets. But overall, a ton of great stuff to be talking about. We'll talk about D2 especially. D2 was a nightmare. The D2 was the biggest Mickey Mouse thing I've ever seen in my life. Yo, Angle. Yeah, you understand. You've been through the rants I went through about how the hell D2 happened, but we'll get to that eventually. But hey, we got another episode here. Gotta see what happens. Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it right now. But first of all, did want to say thank you guys. For one, we've made the petition working, and I know I don't coach anyone here except for the Moravian team, but if you look at what happened at the Game Awards, look at this. We got this, we petitioned, and he got it in. I'm up now for the Game Awards. Let's go. Best esports coach. There we are. College Mario Kart has made it in, made it big time. That is absolutely amazing. So yeah, make sure you go vote on the Game Awards. That's on December 7th. Look at that. Let's go. Look at us go. In reality, no, I didn't actually get in. I just Photoshopped. I just used Canva, put myself on there. I sent this to my mom, and my mom completely believed me. Because, like, there's an empty spot here. There was only 5. So I just threw myself on, and I was like, well, let's go. We made it. Moravians making it big time. College Mario Kart has made it big, and we have an actual esports coach for the year award. Let's go. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm still gonna be sick for a bit. Not gonna be fun. Okay, let's talk about actual stuff that happened. Let's start off in Division 1. Because Division 1... yeah. Division 1 happened. If you look at just the scores, there were not... I think there were a total of 2 matches. 2 matches? Yeah, 2 matches in Division 1 that actually played. Everything else was a forfeit, which is just how Division 1 went. Not ideal in the slightest, so... let's talk about it. Last prime time, this is actually from week 4, but they eventually played it, and it's great because this is basically what decided playoffs. Peach State Patriots, Texas Unified. Peach State wins 547 to Texas Unified 437. Plus 110 win. This was massive. Peach State made it in the playoffs. I don't know if anyone really expected Peach State to like sneak in the way they did. But they made some big upsets this entire season. Really deserved to be here, honestly. Bean with the 117, Wisp 110, Spoon 97, Guy Fry 93, Luxatone 65, Sourdough 65. We don't talk about that yet. We're not going to talk about that. And then Texas Unified, Greg 129, Adam 96, Slap the Rat 71, Puffin Man 56, Unlucky Pro 45, Robert 40. The big thing was Texas never materialized. The sand left halfway through. Stuff happened. Let's leave it at that with Texas. So, we knew on paper Texas would be the best team possible. It's just that we never got to that point where they actually were unstoppable. For multiple reasons. Gathering issues were an absolute nightmare for this team. Their best player never played, Nick. I don't think Nick ever played. If he did, it was like very rarely. And he's like one of the best players in the U.S., and that would have been a massive difference there. We think Greg is good, being like D1 and all that. Nick is insane. Nick played once versus KU. I'm sorry that it was against you guys of anything. But yeah, Peach State claws their way into playoffs with a 5-5 record. Shout out Kutztown winning that match. Good job, y'all. Peach State, UC SoCal. 581 Peach State, UC SoCal 403. This is one of the... Wow, look at that. Look at Guy Fry go. 117. Bean 116. Spoon 109. 94 from Wisps. Sourdough 80. Luxatone 62. Linkbot 3 points. Let's go, Linkbot. For UC SoCal, Super FX 109. Cairo 86. Joy 65. While Louise 58. Zane 52. Maya 33. This was another big matchup. If SoCal would have won this, they would have made playoffs, I think. But Peach State, they got done what they had to get done, securing their spot in playoffs, and really, they're looking to be good. They're getting hot at the right time, so good for them. Ontario United, this was last week. Ontario United, 551, UC SoCal 433. Iona with the 127, Chipper with the 106, Guilty 102, Balk RS 99, Helix 73, Canada 44. And then for SoCal, we got 132 from Cairo, 96 from Super FX, Joy with the 83, Maya with the 53, Zane 48, the bot had 21. That's unfortunate they had to play with a bot. But I think that's been the recurring trend, actually, in Division 1 especially. A lot of 5v6s, I feel. I feel that's been a big thing in this entire league, which is not ideal in the slightest, but it happens. It happens. But yeah, look at this, Ontario. Also, Ontario's looking really good right now. 127 from Iona, especially. Iona's having a masterclass of a season. Iona's probably going to be my pick for Division 1 MVP. I think they just do so much for Ontario, for Ontario's team, and it's really making them as good as they are. And they make Ontario super threatening going in the playoffs, which we'll talk about later. Cairo with the 132 from UC SoCal. That's also just an amazing performance. They had a bit of a dip, I think, against PSP with only like an 86. I love how that's a low for them, but Cairo also putting up MVP-esque numbers for UC SoCal. The sad truth is that almost every other match in D1 was a forfeit. Yeah, there was a total of forfeit. Not ideal. I think that's all of them, yeah, because UA not able to play. Texas forfeit both their matches, which was very rough. Wow. And now okay. And now let's take a look at standings, because now we got some interesting stuff here. Kutztown! Granted, they did win 2 games last week off a forfeit, which... not what they wanted, but it's what happens. Are 8-2 on the season, securing that first seed, securing their spot in finals also, which is big. Now, I don't know how often they're going to be able to play between finals and then, because they haven't played in a bit. Not playing in week 5, they're not playing in playoffs this week. I feel like they're going to reschedule to the week after Thanksgiving for finals, so it's a bit of a while before they play again. Wonder if that's going to be any problems for them. Ontario United 7-3. Once they were able to just avoid forfeits, Ontario was just able to just do so well. Only losing to a couple of teams, really. Losing once to Texas, losing once to UA by forfeits, and then who's their other team? They lost to Kutztown also, so they split the series with Kutztown. That's interesting. If those two teams end up meeting in finals, that'll be really fun. Now, Peach State securing the last spot with a 5-5 record. Now, it's unfortunate that they did lose 3 matches by forfeit, and winning 1 by forfeit as well. But hey, they beat Kutztown in the one time they played. They did lose to Ontario in the one time they played. They beat Texas twice, which we were not expecting. Big wins for them, and then splitting the series with UC SoCal. End up making it in the playoffs, though, which is the important thing for them. So we will get to see. What do we have here? I think they're rescheduling for tomorrow, is what I'm pretty sure I heard. But Ontario United, Peach State Patriots in the semifinal spot. Ontario is up in the series. So I think Ontario is just too deep. Peach State has had a hell of a run, and they have pulled off some major upsets this season. But I think if Ontario brings out a solid lineup, I think Ontario wins. Peach State's going to have to play out of their mind. best lineup and play well to have a shot against Ontario, especially because playoffs are best 2 out of 3. I think it'll be big for Ontario if they have some flexibility here. Peach State has to play hot. They got to enter hot. They got to keep that momentum going if they want a shot at championships. Not saying it can't happen, but I think Ontario is just too good right now. Really firing on all cylinders for them, and with players like Iona, especially for Ontario, I think Ontario United is just gonna win here. I don't know if it'll be a 2-0. I could see Peach State taking the set, taking one war, but I think Ontario overall would win this one. I could be wrong though. Most of my predictions this season have been very off, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. We will wait on Division 2 because that is gonna piss me off thinking about what the hell happened there. So let's go to Division 3. There were some big results in Division 3. I think we have to start off with wherever it is. Where is it? Well, I guess we'll just say here. We'll just start off with in order. Iona University versus University of Northern Iowa. Iona wins 521 to UNI's 463, a plus 58 win. You're looking at Franken with a 114, Goji with 103, Gold AJ 96, Yoshi 82, Cito 78, and Jones 48. Meanwhile, for UNI, Lemons 116, Archie 101, Dapper 88, Icy 68, Ascendant 57, Nick 33. I think we've just come to expect that Iona is going to destroy everyone in Division 3. So this is actually a very surprising result. I remember watching, I think I was watching this on last week, and Iona was kind of not as consistent as they normally are. Really not having the best when it comes to team play, not having that insane running ability that they were known for, kind of letting UNI really catch up for a lot of it. And UNI, if this would have went longer, I think UNI could have been pulled off an upset here. I think Iona was starting to lose it by the second half, but I think it was just too late for UNI. Iona played solid, that's all they had to do, but not as convincing as we're used to seeing from them. So maybe a bit worrying for them, we'll see. But I think it's also a testament to how good UNI has gotten. Because if you look at here, UNI 556 against FIU's 428. For UNI, looking at Archie with a 110, Dapper 101, Lemons 100, Icy 96, Nick 80, Acidity 69. FIU had Milkshake with the 109, Ted with Bear with the 87, Spark 79, Silver 67, Vit 54, Evan 32. Not the best lineup for FIU, I think, but UNI still consistent. That's exactly what you wanted to see from them. They didn't make it in the playoffs. We'll discuss why. But UNI, very strong season for them, honestly, for their first ever season. It's just unfortunate that they ended up in the same division as Iona, same conference as Iona and Oklahoma. So really making it hard for them to claw for that next wildcard spot. But really, great play. Archie, Lemons, Dapper, all over 100. I think this is a team with a lot of potential going forward. I wouldn't be surprised to see them make some noise next season if they come back. Huskers, UNL. 562 versus EIU's 422. UNL. Nebraska, we'll get into why Nebraska has made this so interesting. But Zoo with the 116, Mark with the 108, Bob 94, Mob 93, Sarah's in 93 as well, T-Bugs 58. Meanwhile, EIU, Lovebug 111, Mega 76, Panda 66, Paco 64, Muscalini 56, Llama 49. Really good stuff from Nebraska. Nebraska clawed their way in the playoffs, which we will explain how that happened. And with results like this, it makes sense. They They got the job done against EIU. That was massive for them. And they're getting hot at the right time. Meanwhile, for EIU, Lovebug putting some good numbers up as well. But just not enough for them, sadly, this season. This was a massive upset. UNL, Nebraska, 520 against UAH, 464. Granted, UAH was playing 5v6, but this is big for Nebraska, able to secure their spot in playoffs with this win. Mark with the 114, Saracen 97, Labob 93, T-Bug 78, Zoo 76, Mop 62. Meanwhile, for UAH, Creo 134, Aether 91, Green 84, Brandon 64, Cordy 55, and Tanuki Mario with a 36. Sadly, they were playing with the bots. But if you're in Nebraska, you had to take this advantage. This is the only way Nebraska was making playoffs is if they beat UAH, because the tiebreaker was in favor of UNI if they had the same record, because UNI beat Nebraska. So Nebraska had to win both games to have any shots. I thought that they could beat EIU, but beating UAH was an upset. Granted, it's a 5v6, not ideal, but if you're Nebraska, you're not looking at that right now. You're in playoffs. You have a shot now for the chance at the championship, and that's absolutely insane for them. So congrats to UNL, Nebraska, for making it in. Also the only one of the 3 college MKU teams to make it in the playoffs. So happy for them. Iona, 521, the FIU's 463. Looking at Franken with a 112, Goji 99, Yoshi 88, Jones 81, Fire 75, Gold AJ 66. Meanwhile, FIU, Milkshake 125, Ted Bear 115, Sparky 84, Vit 59, Evan 44, Silver 36. I think it's just another same thing again with Iona earlier, as we mentioned. Not as convincing as we thought they were going to be. FIU played out of their mind. Like, honestly, for a team that only won one game this season, I think against CSUF, it's actually impressive to see that this result for FIU against the top team in Division 3. So shout outs to FIU. Good Iona though. They capped off the 10-0 regular season, going perfect, not dropping a single game. We'll talk about what that means for them going into the playoffs, but congrats to them. It's not easy to go 10-0. UAH CSUF. UAH wins 625 to CSUF's 359. Green, 156. Creo 131. Aether 95. Brandon 95. Cordy 78. Dracia 70. Meanwhile for CSUF, SETI 90. Annie 79. Aurora 57. Robot 57. PJ 56. Warp with a 20. UAH, this is what you come to expect from this team. One of the top teams in Division 3 for a reason. Really confident in how they're playing right now. And no one player dropping below 70. 2 players over 130. UAH, very comfortable, very strong team at the moment. I could see them making some deep runs in playoffs, depending on how if they make it out of semis. Meanwhile, CSUF, it's been a rough season for them. They did go 0-10, but there's potential with this team, as we've been mentioning it all season. And I think they got to hold their head up high. There's still some potential here. The first season's always the hardest one for some teams. So, hope to see them back again next season. UNL FIU. When was this played? I guess this is a reschedule from a previous week, because I'm pretty sure this is a interconference play. UNL 515, the FIU's 469. UNL, yeah, that's what I thought, Fishy. Is rescheduled from like week 4, week 3. Good that at least they got it through. Saracen 115, Mop 90, Zoo 85, Mark 83, T-Bug 72, LaBob 70. FIU, Ted Bear 118, Milkshake 99, Drago 81, Silver 69, Vit 65, Evan 37. It's a shame that FIU wasn't able to secure more wins, because they played really well towards the end of the season. Like, this is a very good result against a team that did make playoffs. In fact, FIU has had incredible runs since week 4. So it's just a shame that they weren't able to string together those wins. But UNL getting those wins, going hot at the right time, wondering how they're feeling going in the playoffs. EIU CSUF. This is a very interesting result because CSUF didn't lose by 100. Which, hey, good for them. Progress. EIU 524, CSUF 459, only a plus 65 for EIU. Lovebug 134, Megaphil 97, Muscolini 94, Temi 88, Panda Dragon 65, Llama 46. Meanwhile for CSUF, Annie with the 114, Elena 87, Seti 79, PJ 74, Ferrora 66, Robot 39. Good result, honestly, for CSUF. I think just maybe a few things go their way, they pulled this win off, and that would have been a great way to end their season. But overall, CSUF has improved. We remember how rough those early tables were, and certain tables are still rough. But this is a good result for them, hoping to see them back next season. EIU, similar. They have 2 wins on the season now, I think. And are now able to go into the offseason, see what they can adjust, what they're going to be able to do. Maybe go into that off-season training program, whatever they want to do. But good stuff from them. Hoping to see them in the future again as well. This is another interesting result because FIU has just been going crazy lately. Oklahoma 508 to FIU's 476. Only a plus 32 win for Oklahoma. We thought this would be a wash, I'll be quite honest. But if you look at this, Golden 107, JWT 97, Tekadessa 85, That Big Brown Boy 80, Rhino Bite 73, Broto Bias 66. Meanwhile for FIU, Milkshake 126, Ted Bear 95, Drago 80, Vit 72, Silver 58, Evan 45. FIU only losing by 32 is actually a huge result for them. I don't know if this was like close going into race 12, or if FIU already just secured it, or if Oklahoma already secured it in like by the last couple of races, but still, good result for FIU despite it being a loss. Oklahoma getting the job done, which is important for them, and I think this close win is kind of a wake-up call. I'm wondering how this affects them going into playoffs, but either way, Oklahoma comfortably in. Hopefully to see they do well still. And similar here, Oklahoma 527, UNI 457. It's plus 70 win for Oklahoma. Not the biggest win for Oklahoma here, but they got the job done. And you see why they're able to be this good because not a single player drops below 80. 101 from Golden, Tekadessa 95, JWT 88, Broto Bias 82, That Big Brown Boy 81, Rhino Bites 80. Meanwhile for UNI, Lemons 110, Archie 109, Icy 73, Dapper 71, Accident 64, Bendon 30. Oklahoma is just one of those teams that will always have like a lineup that will be able to put out consistent numbers. So the fact that no one drops below 80 is crazy. Meanwhile, UNI, Lemons and Archie, and a few other players are really coming into their own. I'm really interested to see how this team progresses because like I thought they were going to be in playoffs, but things happen and they're not in. But UNI, I'm excited to see what they do in the future. I think they're better than a couple of the Division 2 teams. So I'm thinking maybe UNI could be a really big threat going into next season. Take a look at the standings real quick. So, Iona, 10-0. With a win-loss, with a plus-minus of over 1,300, which is crazy. Meanwhile, for Oklahoma, they're 8-2. 8-2. UNI 5-5, FIU 1-9, UAH went 7-3, Husker 6-4, EIU 2-8, CSUF 0-10. Undefeated season, hoping to keep it. Now, I don't know how many people are aware of this, but there is a bit of a curse in Mario Kart leagues where teams that go 10-0 in the regular season often do not win the entire thing. So, it's actually crazy. There's teams that have been so dominant in like MKU in the regular season, no team comes close to touching them. And then they get the finals and then they choke. It's crazy. It's actually crazy how teams that go 10-0 tend to lose in playoffs. And I don't know what will happen really. So I hope Iona keeps that in mind. Don't get cocky. Don't get cocky going into 10-0. Because, like, I've seen it too many times. Teams I like, teams I'm fans of, where we'll go, like, you think of, like, Brimming Pot of Lobsters. They win 10-0, lost in finals. Silent Lightning, 10-0, loses in finals. Perfect seasons are rare. So, hopefully Iona doesn't fall into that trap. Gotta take it one at a time here. Don't want to get arrogant here just because you've beaten every team. Doesn't mean you can beat them out every single day. So, and especially because if you look at the playoff bracket, it's interesting. I don't think anyone expected Huskers to be here. Because Huskers would have had to beat UAH, and I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought UAH was just that good. So, like, this is crazy. Iona Huskers. I think this is getting rescheduled to tomorrow. I think Iona wins this. Iona won comfortably against UNL in the regular season. And I think in best 2 out of 3, I don't think that Huskers wins. The better team usually wins best 2 out of 3. So Iona should be able to win this comfortably. I think Iona makes it in the finals, not losing a game. UAH Oklahoma. Oklahoma's looked kind of shaky. UAH dropped a game against Nebraska. So, I don't know, if I'm being quite honest here. I think Oklahoma wins this. I could see if anything goes to all 3, I think it'll be UAH Oklahoma. Because I could see UAH. Creo is going to have, like, amazing numbers. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And Oklahoma is just going to be too consistent, though. So I think Oklahoma wins the set. But I could see UAH taking the war. So we'll get to probably an Iona-Oklahoma final. I'm hoping for that personally, because that will just be such a good finals. But I won't do that prediction until we get to finals. We don't even know which teams will be there yet or not. Okay, not because I want to, but we have to talk about Division 2. Division 2 was one of the stupidest endings to a division I have ever seen. Like, I have no idea what the hell happened here. McDaniel beats Virginia Tech through a forfeit. And, McDaniel sweeps the series with 2 forfeit wins, which I think is hilarious. House Divided versus Moravian Cyberhounds leads to a 549 to 435 plus 114 win for House Divided. Short 136, I don't know 105, Galaxy Nova 88, Silver 85, Jalapeno 73, Nova Squid 62. Meanwhile, for MCH, we're looking at 96 for Angle, Baja with an 85, Kyle 81s, My T 66, Knox with a 63, and Ash with a 44. Okay, finals did get pushed back. Makes sense. I didn't think we were going to actually play during Thanksgiving weekend. So, good to see that. For this, House Divided was comfortable. Comfortable win here. I think it was this is a DLC war for some of them, so I know some of them were playing DLC maps. I can tell you it was kind of scary watching Moravian play some of the DLCs. Like, oh my god, they don't know what they're doing. But it's like, hey, it's okay, it's okay. Short putting up great numbers as usual. Great numbers overall from House Divided. House Divided just very comfortable with the season. Should be going in. Playoffs looking very sitting nicely. This was a big one. This was okay. Zay just didn't know I was streaming. He's also the one being interviewed later today. So I was surprised because normally I see him in chat by now saying something, especially because we're going to be talking about Division 2. But like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's on the social announcements. I don't know how this happened. How Zay just did not know I was streaming. Well, that's funny. Okay. Alabama, Morgan State, 543 to 441 win for Alabama, plus 102. Solution 151, Jay 114, 87 for Brad, Rizzy 84, classic Zay, Trombone 76, Thermal 31. Meanwhile, from Oregon State, Zay with the 128, Obsidia 82, Club 78, Nitro 54, Saiku 51, Ronin 48. This is just an absolute masterclass from Solution. This is just an absolute masterclass from Alabama. That 151 is one of the greatest performances we will see in Division 2. And then, and it was a huge win. Yeah, update the string lord so Zay is pinged when I go live. He seems to be one of the biggest fans of the stream, so he might as well get the actual ping. Only Zay, yes. Do I just go off? Do I go offline and then just go live again just for Zay? Just so he knows? Maybe. Maybe. But yeah, for Alabama. Yo, there he is. There he is. There's Zay. But yeah, what a win for Alabama. This put them for a potential chance to make it in the playoffs. Didn't end up happening though, which we will get into that later, but great result from them overall. Meanwhile, for Morgan State, that 128 from Zay, you've been seeing that all season from him. So it does not surprise me in the slightest that it's like this once again. Yeah, 128 MVP. Do I want to try it? I'll stream again next week. That's it. I kind of just want to get this over with at some point, mostly because not feeling the best. But hey. But overall, yeah, great stuff from Alabama. I need water. I am not feeling it right now. Okay. This one. There was... Okay, I can tell you firsthand. I have never seen Nox so pissed off before a game. So, yeah, there was blood in the water for Moravian going into this matchup. And this was a legacy-defining game for two of the rookies here. Moravian wins 595 to McDaniel's 389. A plus 206 win. Granted, it was a 5v6, but I can tell you that Moravian did not care. I have not seen... I saw a completely different side of Moravian that night, and that was not okay. Angle 125. Mike T 118. That was not expected. 111 from Moon. Kyle 83. Baja 80. Nox 78. Meanwhile, for McDaniel, 83 from Sambert. Cobolone 81. Glacial 80. Top 4 Boss 70. G-Forcer 43. And Luigi Bot 32. Yeah, I can tell you this. Moravian got track picks for the first time ever, and they just kind of destroyed. It's just like, it's so crazy how Moravians... I saw this. I never thought I would see this. So my T is a very nice person. And then I was watching the first race, which is Wild Woods. The first race ended up in a top 5-7 for Moravian. My T turns around in his chair and does like this. Just like he's bored, and I'm like, I didn't teach that. But I thought it was crazy. Just the Moravian, I don't know where the hell this came from Moravian, but it was, it's not okay. And they just, blood in the water. They were out to murder. They were out with straight up murder on their mind. And it's a shame that it didn't lead to like anything crazy for them, but insane. And it's funny actually. So my T did that. All that, and then like he was actually MVPing the room up until race 12, which landed on Baby Park, picked by one of the Moravian players, and then he goes from MVP to last place, and then loses MVP. It was funny, but hey, I will say, my T putting up this 118, that's actually propaganda for me as Coach of the Year still, that I can bring that out from him. So, just saying. And it's unfortunate for McDaniel here because it's just rough. Because like top 4 Boster is arguably their best player, and he just wasn't able to do much because he kept DCing a bunch, which was making my life as table maker a pain. But it was not it for McDaniel. Just not, morale was absolutely at a low. I'm sorry, Zay, that this is the next match that comes up. House divided 621. Morgan State 250. Morgan State 363. It's plus 258 for House Divided. House Divided is just so good. Like, if there's any team that deserved to be in D1 that isn't in D1, it was House Divided. And like, I think University of Michigan is going to, when they have a team next season, is going to be crazy because I think Whooper Goes Whoop, who I forget what team they play for, but I'm pretty sure they go to Michigan along with a few other good players. So Michigan could be really... Oh yeah, like Arcterra, I want to say it is. I want to say Arcterra. So yeah, Whooper Goes Whoop. So House Divided, when they are just Michigan's... Yeah, when it's just going to be University of Michigan. I forget, does short go to Michigan or Michigan State? Because the short goes to Michigan. Oh my god, this team is going to be scary next season. yeah. House Divided. In their one season together as Michigan plus Michigan State, they are the runaway favorites. And you can see why. Short 142, Silver 125, Nova 108, I don't know 95, Noah Squid 80, Jalapeno 71. What do you do about this team? House Divided carried by honestly. But yeah, what do you do about House Divided here? When they have like 4 or 5 players that could just go off like any day. Even without short, this team's still good. Meanwhile, from Morgan State, 104 from EyeZayah, Klob 87, Obsidia 54, Iman 47, Ronan 46. Oh, they had a bot. That's rough. Baby Peach 25. Okay, 5v6. Not ideal in the slightest, but things happen. Overall, great season for them, though. Morgan State sadly isn't going to be able to make playoffs, which we will explain why, but unfortunate there. Meanwhile, House Divided, Virginia Tech, 508 to 476. This is a good result. This is a close result, too. Really happy about this. Plus 32 only. Short 102. Nova 95. I don't know 86. Noah Squid 85. Silver 82. Jalapeno 58. Meanwhile, Virginia Tech, Cynical 138. Ice 116. Steamy 70. Blizzard of Oz 60. Hyper Evil Man 59. And Algek 33. It's crazy, yeah. Cynical and Ice are so good. I think those two really can put House Divided and make them sweat. It's going to be interesting, assuming these teams will be in finals. So I'm interested to see how this goes in the future. If it was this close, and especially if, because I don't think VT had their best lineup here either. So really excited to see what happens for them. Virginia Tech, Bama, 519. Virginia Tech, Bama, 465. Cynical, 135. Ice, 131. Steamy, 78. Glizzard, 70. Hyper, 62. Graceful Wombat, 43. Meanwhile, Bama, Solution, 133. Trombone, 120. Brad, 85. Rizzy, 55. Thermal, 46. Bot, 26. This is crazy, because I think if Bama doesn't have a bot, they could potentially pull this off. Like, especially if you have, like, Jay playing. It's a shame, because if you look at what to... Yeah, Bama just came in to ruin House Divided's perfect season. Hey, it works out for House Divided. Perfect team. 10-0 teams don't usually win, so... Maybe. Maybe that was all part of the plan. It was all part of the plan for House Divided to make sure they don't have the 10-0 curse. But hey, looking at Bama, Bama had a hell of a season. It's a shame that a lot of their losses were they lost 2 times to Moravian just by forfeits, and then 5v6s, quite a bit of them too. So it's not ideal in the slightest, but Alabama's going to be a huge threat in the future, especially if they can actually get 6 for most of their matches and not have to worry about like other things. I think Alabama's going to have one interesting year. And Virginia Tech, they're getting hot at the right time. They're locked in. I think Virginia Tech should be set for playoffs. Looking to probably, I think they make finals at this rate. Okay, yeah, one more match. McDaniel Green Terror, 499 to Alabama, 485. Okay, it's another 6v5. Not ideal, especially because it was only a plus 14. But overall, you take it. Shamchaz, 122. Top 4 Boss, 107. Sambert, 90. Glacial, 86. Brand, 65. Senpai NH, 29. Meanwhile, for Alabama, Solution, 137. Trombone, 108. Brad, 90. Thermal, 56. Rizzy, 52. Bot, 42. I don't want to address that message, Fishy. I was going to say, if Alabama just has a 6th player, they win this. And it's kind of disgusting. Because especially if like Jay plays, if Jay wasn't he like trying to rizz up a girl and it didn't go well or something? If Alabama just has a 6th player, they win. Most likely. It's such a shame. Alabama probably could have made playoffs if they just were able to get 6 players half the time. It's such a shame. Meanwhile, okay, we'll just go into it now. If you look at the standings, House Divided, 9-1. Virginia Tech, 5-5. And then what the fuck happened here? McDaniel is in playoffs? 4-6? Morgan State 4-1-5, Moravian 4-1-5, Alabama 3-7. McDaniel, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be mean. They don't deserve to be here. They don't deserve to be in playoffs. This is such a Mickey Mouse playoff run. Like, oh my god. Okay, we have to discuss this. Half of McDaniel's wins are against Virginia Tech, which are both forfeits. You know how upsetting it is that I have to go and like, oh, what's the playoff analysis? Oh, McDaniel wins the series by 2 forfeit wins. I had nothing to go off of here. Like, are you kidding me? I have nothing to go off of here. And then it's like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy because then you look at what the 2 wins McDaniel had, and then it's even more sad because they beat Alabama once in a 6v5. They beat Moravian, and the score looks really convincing. And then you realize half of it was a 6v5, and it's McDaniel, like, okay, Sandberg's great. I have had nothing but good things to say about the McDaniel people I've met. Great people overall. Happy for them that they're in playoffs. But how the fuck did you make it in the playoffs? I don't think even McDaniel thought they had a chance to make playoffs. Like, huh? What? And if you don't think that's bad, look at this. House Divided has a great plus minus. How the hell is Moravian the only other team with a positive plus minus? Like, what the hell just happened here? And it's so crazy. Hell, McDaniel, oh my god. This was a nightmare. D2 was dumb. We don't even... Okay, I'll be honest with you guys. If Moravian made playoffs, they also don't deserve to be here. Half of their win, 3 of their 4 wins were forfeits. And their 1 win was a 6v5. Alabama didn't really go crazy. Yeah. Alabama had crazy runs, except, Alabama choked because of Jay just didn't show up half the time. It's such a sad thing, because the community loves Jay. But I guess Jay also tried to rizz up a girl and it didn't work. Can we talk about how Morgan State just didn't make playoffs because of people trying to rizz up girls, and it just doesn't work because Mario Kart players don't always have rizz? Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm so glad I saved D2 for last, because this is not okay. Morgan State loses to... How did Morgan State lose playoffs? Because of Riz. Are you kidding me? Like, this is not okay. This is such a shame, because, like, literally, what we should have just done... Every team here, like, if you're trying to make playoffs with a record of less than 500, you should not be in it. We should just say House Divided and Virginia Tech and just skip the finals, because the prophecy is this: McDaniel is going to win against Virginia Tech, because Virginia Tech is going to have to forfeit for some reason. So McDaniel's going to waltz their way into finals somehow against House Divided, and then figure out a way to get 2 more forfeit wins, and then McDaniel wins Division 2 off of forfeits. Can you imagine? That would be the biggest, like, that would be the Mickey Mouse run of the season. Of anything. That puts the bubble in a whole new light. I don't know, it's so sad. So, I know Zay's been mentioning it, the 20-point rule. I'm not a huge fan of it myself either. I think the biggest problem I have with the 20-point rule is that it means the 20-point rule is 1 point for each loss of less than 20 points. And okay, I can see that. I can see the point behind it. Because if you look at the NHL has something kind of similar, where they have, if I remember right, it's 2 points for a win, and 1 point for a loss if it goes to overtime/shootouts. So it's kind of similar to that rule. The problem is, in this Mario Kart League, we have ties. So the 20-point rule, the 20-point loss rule, and ties are weighted the same, which I don't think should be possible. I don't think we expected that to ever have to come into play. But it's kind of unfortunate, because you would imagine that a tie would probably be worth more than a loss of less than 20 points. But it's not the case here, and I don't think we were expecting it we never expected this to have to come into play. But because McDaniel loses a couple times, in fact, almost all their losses, a lot of their losses were close. Like, yeah, they lost twice with less than 20 points. So it's crazy, because McDaniel really just made it in because of that. Like, oh my god. And then if you realize this, McDaniel's 1 20-point loss against Morgan State, the 481 to 483, that only happened because McDaniel lost on penalties. They lost. There was like 20-point penalties, I think it was. So it turned a +2 win into a -18 loss, into a +2 win, or no, +18 win into a -2 loss, which was hilarious to look at now, but it's rough. Like, I think going forward, a rule change we have to consider. One, we either get rid of the 20-point rule, or we have to make ties worth 2 points, or something like that, or we do like tiebreakers instead. It's rough, yeah. We'll talk about that also as but yeah, Morgan State just, it's kind of crazy how they didn't make playoffs. So, like, in the future, here's what I'm thinking. With the point system, 3 points for a win makes sense. Probably 2 points for a tie. 1 point for a 20-point loss or less. And 0 points for a loss that's bigger. I think that's fair. I think that's just the easiest way to go about it here, because it's really unfortunate that 415, if you look at just record, Morgan State and Moravian technically have a better record than McDaniel, because like if you look in the NFL, this is these two teams would be above McDaniel in standings, but we're also using the point system they use in soccer, and obviously there's no close loss point in soccer, but it's like, it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate, because like, granted, Morgan State, if they just beat one of the two, if they were just able to secure one more win, they'd be in. But McDaniel coming in, massive spoiler. We'll say that. Unfortunate case that really messed up D2, because D2 is like, what the fuck? But so let's look at playoffs here. Okay. There's a ton of pressure, honestly, on McDaniel. McDaniel has to be going into this knowing this. You either have this crazy Cinderella run to make it finals, or you're going to get stomped, and it's kind of fraudulent. McDaniel has to prove they belong here, because this is the case for any other team in Division 2. Whichever team was going to be the third seed, there would have been so much pressure for them to show that they belong in playoffs. Alabama would have had to do that. Morgan State would have had to do that. Moravian would have had to do that. But now it's McDaniel. McDaniel has to prove they belong here in playoffs, and they have to play well. There's no telling if they do or not. I think it depends on who McDaniel has. I think this is also getting rescheduled to tomorrow, actually. So I think all of playoffs is tomorrow, which is kind of funny. But Virginia Tech is just so good. Ice and Cynical are so good. I don't think Sham Chaz and Top 4 Boss have it in them to like really make much of a dent. But if they do, they have to be on top of their game, because otherwise McDaniel's going to get stomped, and then they look like a joke. Because, but hey, not going to be hard on them. They're here. They got to show why they're here. We've seen upsets happen before. Maybe this is their Cinderella run. Maybe this team makes it far into playoffs. Maybe wins it all. Who knows? But they gotta get past Virginia Tech, and if they do, maybe they can pull it off. We'll see. What did I have left next? Award voting. Okay, this is fun. So I'm gonna do award voting a bit differently. I'm not gonna actually fill out the form on stream, mostly because I don't want to show my personal email. So, not gonna do that. Instead, I have a Google Sheet. I have like a rough idea of like what I was doing for this, but Control Plus. Okay, we'll go through all the awards then. We'll start off with Division 1. Division 1's actually kind of the easiest one to do, I think. So, MVP, my first pick would be Iona. Iona's just really good. Ontario themselves has been like really good to watch. Really fun team. I think Ontario has a chance to win the whole thing. Iona is at the top of the leaderboard when it comes to indivs. And really, Ontario isn't where they are without Iona. We know Ontario has a great roster top to bottom, but overall, Iona's the reason why this team is as good as they are. This might be a take, but I think Cairo deserves... It's probably my second pick for MVP. You look at this. That 120 average across 8 matches is really impressive. And like, UC SoCal has been so scary because of Cairo and Super FX. But Cairo especially, like I remember hearing like Texas when they had their like full team available, they were like, what the hell is this guy doing? Because he's that good. Cairo is that good. And I think there's no doubt in my mind that Cairo like could have been MVP. And because of that, I think because of their scoring, just how good they are at this game, really, they're going to be fighting for MVP. Meanwhile, third, I'm going to go with Tech. You got to have a Kutztown player here. It's not ideal that a lot of KU's results were by forfeit. I've got to blow my nose, sorry. Yeah, it's not ideal that there's an 8-way tie on voting for MVP? Dear Lord. Dear Lord. Yeah, that's why part of the reason why I do it like this, because I have no idea what I'm doing yet either. Tech has been the scoring champion for KU, and really part of the reason why KU is as dominant as they've been. Tech doesn't really have bad games, and because of that, really, I think they're my third place finalist for MVP. People's champ. So, best player to not make playoffs, it's gotta be Cairo. Cairo's just so good. Like, oh my god, Cairo's just that good. We talked about it, but like, if they can't get MVP, they deserve this. Cairo deserves this kind of award here. I have Greg for second. Well, first of all, so here's the thing. There's not a lot of teams left to pick from, I guess. So, because it's only 6 teams and only 3 teams didn't make playoffs. Greg's been consistent with Texas, so really deserves to be here, I think. Been their star player when Nick didn't play a lot, when Sand left, Adam wasn't always there. Greg's just been the guy holding down the fort. And I don't know, I put Elephant 6-2 because why not? I didn't really have a reasoning here, it's just I don't know, why not? So, do we count Cairo as a rookie? Are we going to count Cairo as a rookie? Because if we do, then Cairo is probably Rookie of the Year. If not, then it's Bo. Okay, because I'm like, if you look at who's here, is there really anyone else it could be besides Bo? Because, like, every other top player has been around, whether it be at MKU or they played in the last CMKL FFA. Bo is the best player, best rookie. Like, Bo was the only rookie to make the second team, I think. I forget if Guilty Echo's been playing for a bit. I forget. That's the only one I don't remember off the top of my head. But, like, considering this is their first ever 6v6 season. Okay. So it's a runaway. It's a runaway then for Bo. There's no one else it could be, I think. It's just Bo is just that good of a player. To like hold their own, to be that reliable option for Kutztown has been so valuable. I think Bo is just like Amazing player. Really coming into their own as well. Really excited to see what they do in the future. Sportsmanship. So I won't lie, I don't really know with Division 1. For like, what, rookie? For rookie of the semester technical? Imagine. Oh my god, yeah. That's hilarious. But yeah, sportsmanship. I had no idea with Division 1 what to do for Division 1 and 3. I have no idea what to do for sportsmanship. I hope the players actually have a better idea here. But I'm gonna go with Spoon, because why not? Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Spoon. I think Peach State has just been a really nice team to have in this league. I think they've been a really positive influence on the community, especially in Division 1. So I think you got to give it to one of the PSP players. Waluigi has also been really nice, really good with the teams, really helpful as well. And Dynamo, also for PSP, but I think I'm going to give it to Spoon. Division 2. Okay, we know my pick. We know the propaganda I've had for EyeZayah this entire time. I have been... One, I'm an EyeZayah fan. We've gone over this. But aside from that, I also feel like, one, he was robbed of a shot in playoffs, which is heartbreaking. And his numbers have been great. Really, Morgan State does not come close to playoffs without Zay. Like, when you look at valuable, if you look at most valuable with that idea, especially because EyeZayah is the only one who played all 10. Like, that's important to me, at least, to have someone who can actually play all 10. Shout out to Morgan State for actually, yeah, Morgan State is Division 3 without Zay. In fact, Morgan State without EyeZayah is probably closer to like EIU. They don't make playoffs in D3, I think, without EyeZayah. I could be wrong, but I feel like they don't make playoffs in D3 without him. Oh yeah, played all 10. Insane average. This is like the second highest points in the league, 1307. Really deserves to be here, I think. And I think there's no Morgan State without EyeZayah. And I think you have to consider that as well. Really the pick for MVP, I think. You could go Ice or Cynical here. I picked Ice just because of like really coming into their own after being out of the game for so long. Second overall with a 135 average. Really deserves to be here, I think. And then, despite being the scoring champion, I have Short as third. Yeah, I have Short as third. Mostly just because they didn't play as much. That's really it. I think if Short played like more often, then I think Short is MVP. So, but overall, I've still got to put Zay as the MVP. It just makes too much sense to me. One, I think Morgan State should be in playoffs. Two, Morgan State doesn't come close without EyeZayah. And having that playing all 10, that just means too much. Can you re-add me? Can you add me back to the CKL drive? Because I can never find it, I'll be quite honest. I actually don't know if I have it anymore. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that, the first team, second team, third team, that's all just, by averages. First team, Iona, Technical, Greg, Cairo, Bean, Betboo, Super FX, Spoon, Wisp, Bo, Luckstone, Guilty Echo for D1. And then, I didn't put a third team for Division 1 because there really wasn't a lot of players to pick from. I have a third team in Division 2 purely because 2 more Moravian players made it. I will not lie to you. So, these aren't official awards. I don't know if they actually were going to count for anything. I don't know if we'll actually have like official awards, but like, if you look at averages, Short, Ice, Cynical, EyeZayah, Solution, top 4 boss for first team. Shamches, Nova, Angle, Silver, Trombone Wizard, Brad Joe, second team. And then Sandbird, Baja Blast Lover, Klob, I don't know, Nox, Steamy. I think In D2 and D3, I think it really makes sense to have that third team. D3 especially, it makes sense to have the third team. But 100 pay talented winner of each category. But yeah, I think third team especially, like, I love seeing like teammates react to like, oh my god, recognition. We're happy about that. Like, I don't know about you, like seeing Angle make second team, seeing Baja and Nox make third team, that makes me happy. So I'm not sure if we'll actually give out an award for that, but we'll see. People's champ, it has to be Alabama. It has to be someone from Alabama. It's for me, it's Solution. So it would be Jay, but Jay just never plays, and Jay is Jay is also the reason that Jay is the reason why Morgan State didn't make playoffs, which is hilarious. So you can't do that, I guess. But Solution, amazing player, phenomenal season for them. Really coming into their own here. And I think they're the best player to not be in playoffs. In fact, they're the only one. Them and EyeZayah as like the only ones from the first team to not be in the playoffs. I have EyeZayah. I don't have EyeZayah for People's Champ because I have him for MVP, but that's just me. Rookie of the season. Okay, so objectively, you give it to Shorts. You could also give it to Solution. You could give it to Shamchez, who all have better averages than Angle. The reason I have Angle, one, because I'm biased for Moravian. One, I'm biased for Moravian. Two, Angle is the only rookie of like the top four to not have any comp experience before this league. So Shorts and Solution play lounge. So that's important to consider. So they actually have a lot of the line experience, maybe some of that comp experience. So Short and Solution, I don't really consider them as much of rookies. Shamchez plays at MDVA collegiate. So I think it makes sense for considering that Angle has like relatively does not know what comp is like at all prior to like joining Moravian. And it's crazy because like that war against the first match was Angle's second war ever. Was Angle's second competitive anything ever for Mario Kart. So I think because of that, you have to give it to Angle. Angle is by definition the closest thing to a rookie here. So like, I think he's got a ton of potential. Really excited to see how he does in the future here. But yeah, if you were to look at everyone else, Shamchez would be my second pick. And if you count Shorts or Solution as rookies, then they would be my third. But I think you give it to Angle because of... I think you just give it to Angle because Angle is the closest thing to a rookie in this game. Sportsmanship. Okay, so the girl Jay tried to rizz up. That's my pick, I guess. Okay, so so for sportsmanship, this is hard because I think Division 2 is the only division I was really kept up with. Anyone who made it a team forfeit because they wouldn't reschedule. Okay, if we're being quite honest, then that means the sportsmanship award just doesn't happen. So the sportsmanship award just can't happen like anywhere then in this league because then we'd be so screwed. I give it to Baja or Nox. I don't know who you pick between the two, but I think you give it to them because where is it? It's one of the first ones, which does not help. I think you give it to Nox or Baja for making this not a forfeit against Morgan State. I think sportsmanship-wise, it just, like, those were two of the nicest people I've ever seen in this community. I can't tell you how many people would have taken, instead of like pushing for a tie, would have made this into a forfeit. And it's crazy. Because if Moravian makes Morgan State forfeit, Moravian's in playoffs. That's crazy to think about. But like Knox and Baja, knowing that it did not feel right to make Morgan State lose on a technicality, they opted to push for the tie, and I think that just means a lot to me, I think. So I think the fact that they just didn't make that forfeit. No, the one who chose to have neither of them make playoffs was Jay. So Jay is the reason why neither team made playoffs technically. That and McDaniel playing 5v6s. So, but yeah, I think sportsmanship. I don't care who it is. These are the type of Baja and Knox would be the type of people to just split the award. I think they would just gladly share it. But I think it makes sense for them to, at least in Division 2, they're the picks to have the sportsmanship award. Cynical's also great. So I think Cynical been really good for Virginia Tech. Really positive influence on the scene there. The girl Jay tried to rizz up. Yeah, probably. Honorable mention, but I'll give it to Nova. Yeah, I'll give it to Nova. I think Nova has also been really positive influence on the Division 2 scene. So Hoa Warriors, didn't that happen in the NBA before? Probably. He might have, yeah, for Rookie of the Year. It might have. I think it's so. I just can't remember when. It did. Elton Brand, I think. I want to say Elton Brand and someone else got it. NBA Rookie of the Year. I spelled the wrong, but it's okay. Elton Brand and Steve Francis. Stevie Franchise, dang. Haven't heard that name in a while. Back in 1999 to 2000. Award for people who haven't played on the team. Oh, Grant Hill, Jason Kidd. Best bench warmer? Best bench warmer award. Okay. Let me think about this. Now, we'll call it the seventh man. Who would it be? Best players that basically never played. You could actually just go down here and see. Maybe one of these. Nunley? Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Give me Nunley here, because Nunley just barely played. Yeah, Nick for D1. You can give it to Moon, actually. Moon as well. Oh, true, J. Yeah, I'll put J here. Bama J. And then Bama. I think that's about right. I think that makes sense. Yeah, I think this is great for a 7th man award here. Nick for D1. Let's think about it. Is this going to be more of a meme award? Probably, but we'll see. Yeah, all of UA is in the running for that now. Oh, Sand also. Duh. That's interesting. Nick, and then probably Sand here, yeah. Oh yeah, forgot about this award. Yeah, to qualify you need to played one match. Nick played against Kutztown. I think that's the only match they played, so it's enough. UA has... Did UA play at least a couple? I think they did, yeah. Sand played a few. And then, how could I forget this? Boom, there we go. I get recognition now. Woo. Okay, Division 3 is actually really hard to figure out, like, a lot of this. Like, I have no idea how many of these people even count for rookie, because, like, almost all of them are new, as far as I know. And I don't want, like... And I don't want to just, like, make the MVP also rookie, so... Oh well. But let's go through the first, second, and third teams. UAH Creo, FIU Milkshake, Iona Franken, Iona Goji, UAH Green JC, UNI Archie, UNI Dapper, FIU Ted Bear, UAH Space Captain, OUA Golden, UNI Lemons, UNL Marco for second team, and third team, CSUF Anabration, OUA JWT, UNL Zoo, UNL Sarazen, OUA Brazzo Bias, OUA Tekadessa. Okay, MVP has to be Creo. Like, as good as the Iona boys have been, I think you can't ignore that this is a legendary individual performance from Creonia. 1328 points playing all 10 matches. They're averaging a 132.8. That's crazy. Like, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. And then I have Franken and then Goji as second and third, mostly because they contribute to a winning season. Because, like, I would love to put FIU. Milkshake deserves something, but I think going 1-9, I have him as People's Champ, but I don't know if I can put him any higher. Similarly, UNI Archie, great player, but I don't know if they have it really. Rookie. Okay, how many of these people are actually new? Like, I have to like look and see like every single player. Like who? They're all new, which does not help. Okay, time to like stalk like all of the chat and see if they're like Creo's in lounge but doesn't play. Do we even bother with a Division 3 rookie? Because like most of them are rookies. All of OUA is new? Okay, fine. Here's what we're gonna do. OUA, everything. Because Oklahoma, well, the big thing about Oklahoma is that they're consistent. So they're not exactly like tearing the doors down when it comes to like the first, second, and third team. But like almost every single player on OUA is just good enough to put up like an 80 any given moment. And I think that's important there. Yeah, Iona's also. I'm gonna put Iona then here. Rookies. FIU is weirdly the one team that has like a lot of players. You can't give UNL a lot of them because UNL's played quite a bit in the past. So UAH, boom. Sportsmanship. Okay, time to look at Division 3 chat, see who's talking. If anyone in Division 3 wants to recommend people for sportsmanship, let me know, because I really don't know with a lot of Division 3. So I'm like looking just anywhere, really. Obviously, yeah, Phantom, true. How could I forget that? How could I forget Phantom? Oh, I forgot IU. JWT, my B. I was gonna say, I'm like, I remember you used something that's not that. I'm like, yeah, Gold AJ, that's what it was. Obviously, it's all subject to change. Let's give it a Ted Bear, why not? Was it 7th man? Who doesn't play a lot when it comes to Division 3? Shoot, this one's a bit harder to figure it out. Give me UAH Space Captain, because I don't play as much. Chat, think we want the final voting form tomorrow? You better say yes. And then give me someone from OUA. Rhino Bites. Why not? Obviously, these are subject to change. I probably won't actually submit these yet, but that's about it for now. Yep, think I could be happy with that. I'll submit mine like off stream, but you get the gist of it. Okay, Zay, are you still in chat? Hopefully so. I don't know. I know Frontier's happening right now. I forget where they're at. Cause I know it's because it's time for Zay's interview. It's like, oh, let me get into my Discord. He here. Okay, I need Zay to get into the VC, then just so I can drag him in. Get that interview going. Sorry, I'm still not feeling well. So hopefully it gets better soon though. Mm. Pie chart for people's chat. I'll take a look at that right now as I'm waiting for Zay to get in. Not gonna leak it on stream, obviously. Ooh, yeah. Okay, these are some interesting results ever in general. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, people's chat, that makes sense. Oh, I forgot I don't know is new. Ooh, that's actually interesting. Bit hard to tell because I know the big thing with this is some teams are doing a lot more voting than others. Sportsmanship. Oh, sportsmanship looks like a complete mess. Oh my god. Yeah, yeah. At least one for to split between divisions. Two, because oh my god, some of these look like the Price is Right wheel, and like it's not exactly what I was expecting to see. Okay, Zay's getting in now. Things happen. Things happen. Okay, yep, just waiting on Zay then.
Hello.
Yo, there he is. That makes things much easier then.
Hmm.
Yo, how you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, and how are you doing?
I'm all right. Feeling a bit sick, but I
That's
need to wanted to get this interview going. Wanted to interview you, especially because you've been on my target list for a long time now. Was hoping, really excited to have you on board.
good.
Yeah, well, thank you again for
I'm glad.
yeah. Well, once again, thank
Of course, no problem.
of course, yeah. So let's get this interview started then. So I know a lot of the community already knows who you are, but do you mind introducing yourself? So your tag, what year you're in, school you go to, what you're studying, anything you think is relevant.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, my name is Isaiah. I am an accounting sophomore major, and I attend Morgan State University. I started competitive Mario Kart like in the March in another league, but I've been trying to transition. I've done MKU so far. Now I'm leading a team, my own university team in collegiate. So yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, that's insane nice. So little known thing, I actually briefly considered going to Morgan State for like my undergrad. So happy to see that there's a team there now.
Hmm. Yeah, the scene was kind of dead. I had to basically like force my directors to like give me this opportunity because they was only caring about Overwatch, League of Legends, Rocket League and stuff. They wasn't really caring about Mario Kart. So I kind of had to force my way in, and I was able to get a group of people that was willing to like follow me, and it's been great experience.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so do you mind telling me about that then? So like, I remember hearing. Okay, hold up. They can't hear you real well. I'll let me change this a bit. So yeah, I forgot to like do that. So
Hmm.
can you say some stuff now? Then I'll see if they can hear you. My bad on
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, does that sound better, guys? Waiting on them. So
Hmm.
I'll go with this. Okay, it sounds better now. Nice. Okay, so yeah, my bad.
All
But
right.
we're lucky that people know who you are, so we don't have to like reintroduce
Yeah.
yourself and all that. So you mentioned it actually about like getting the MSU team going, but how exactly did that go for you? Like getting the Morgan State team, because like obviously a lot of teams, like a lot of esports programs are Overwatch, Valorant, League, that kind of stuff. So how was it for you getting that team
So
together?
yeah. So back in about July, around July August area, my my school was asking for tryouts in the leagues and like 2K, Overwatch, League of Legends, all that. And I was like, hey, this is around the time Fitchy announced there was going to be a 6v6 collegiate league, and I was like, hey, maybe I should get my university team to come together for this. So I asked my directors; they said they was okay with it, and they set up a date for my tryouts. And at first, I was scared that I wasn't going to get enough people for my tryouts because like all the others esports are more well known than mine, of course, because Mario Kart is, of course, a growing esport, competitive Mario Kart. But to my surprise, I ended up having the most people at my trial than any other sport. And what made it better, what made it even better for me is that my esports program didn't even advertise it. They didn't even advertise, yo, Isaiah's hosting Mario Kart tryouts on this day in the gaming lounge. Come to it. I had to basically advertise it for myself, going into the game room every day, asking people, "Hey, you should come try out." I know you're probably new to this, but I'll teach you to the best of my abilities. And if you're not messing with it, then by all means, you could. If it's not for you, you could leave. But I would like for you to try it out at least. And to my surprise, 25 people came to try out for my team, and I was like, damn, I'm really like creating this thing at Morgan State. It was so great. So I chose about 12 people from there, and we've been on a roll ever since. We're on a learning curve right now, but I like what I have.
I will say 25 is crazy. Like you actually
Mhm.
like I'm thinking about this now, like even the bigger schools like the Arizonas and like the Michigans, I don't think they were coming anywhere close to that kind of recruiting, that kind of interest. Even like
Yeah.
programs like Moravian, which were around for a bit now, getting 10 would be surprising. So 25 here, and then the fact that you actually are
Yeah,
making cuts, I think you might be the first team I've ever heard that had to like actually choose players, and that's kind of cool. So like really happy that your
but yeah,
program's getting like that.
it did it was kind of simple because there were a couple of people that try it out that just straight up didn't have a switch, and
Oh,
no, and it's actually crazy because some of them that didn't have a Switch was really good at the game too. And I was thinking like, should it like if you were on my team and you needed to play, would you just come to my place and go split screen? And I was like, I don't want to make that much of a hassle for them, so I did have to cut them unfortunately. But I had a lot of really good players, and I had one player that was supposed to play like he was probably like I was probably say that he was more like I was more excited for him than Obsidia. His name was Ghostly, and unfortunately he couldn't play because he did get shot. But yeah,
oh dang, really sad to hear that. Was not the turn I was expecting, but
hmm
yeah, really sad to hear that kind of stuff happened then.
yeah, he's really good on he's really good here in Smash. He's actually like one of the top 60 Luigi players in the world.
Oh dang,
So
that's
yeah,
crazy.
I was really excited, really exciting freshman prospect, and I didn't get to have them. It
That's
was
sh-
upsetting,
that's
but
unfortunate. Yeah, really sad to hear that.
yeah.
But so overall, in like your first season as a team, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, I would imagine for Morgan State. So just tell the people
hmm
here how this season went for you guys.
So, coming into this, like I'll even admit that I wasn't that this was gonna be a learning curve, and I wasn't like very confident that we was gonna like make as much noise as we did. So we did try out a couple of scrims. I was trying to get as much scrims in as possible. I scrimmed with UA, I scrimmed with Iona, Oklahoma, which was all great people. Thank y'all for the scrims, by the way. And we got some wins, we got some losses. Some people were upset that they were scoring low, like morales were low. Some morales were low when we did like lose by a lot of points. But also morales were high when we scored a lot of points. And I felt like me as a team leader, that it was my job to try to control those as well as people's attitudes when we were losing. Because like when you are losing, you play so much. When you complain and you get upset, you play so much worse. So it's just me trying to calm my players down to the best of my abilities. Because even I rage a lot when I play. It's six wisp. Anybody could tell you that I rage a lot when I play. It's. So I was trying to like control it, and I think we did pretty good for our first season. You know, 4-5, 5-5 in my heart, 5-5. But yeah, it was a good first season for me. Very great learning experience.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. Just having that like the experience for you guys really important because like I think you mentioned this before, but the team is like really new, like overall. So like having like
Yeah.
the experience now, it's like then come as close as you did to playoffs. I still believe you should be in it, but obviously I can't do anything about that.
hmm
But yeah, overall, great stuff from you guys. Really was really happy for you guys to see as like just as a from a fan perspective, was rooting for you guys for much the entire season. So I'm really happy with how you guys did.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. We needed all the support possible. You know, and like one of the probably the other biggest problems was like some of my teammates Nitro is also like he's getting Nitro's actually been getting a lot of help from Mitch, and even like when we was at Sandberg's land, technical coached him up a little bit like mid land because it was they were in the same lobby together and they was right next to each other. Nitro got upset a lot because like he felt like since he was scoring like 58 60s that he wasn't contributing. But there was this one race on Cloud Top that you had it on stream against McDaniel.
Oh
We
yeah.
basically pulled away from McDaniel in that race, and that was because Dante was holding blue that whole time, and I was like, Dante, thank you so much. Like, even though you're scoring low, like you are helping the team out, whether you realize it or not. Like, it's not always all about scoring points. It's about like how great your item management is and other things. So I thanked him so much for that, just because that helped us get the win over McDaniel the first time.
Oh yeah, and I think like the team play aspect is often so overlooked. Like
Yeah.
when you look at the stats, all the only thing we really see is the scoring. But like the people who are scoring low, you don't know if they're like hard bagging, you don't know if they're suicide bagging for shock, you don't know if
Hmm.
they're holding blue, and like all of those really mean so much. Like in the grand scheme of things, like I know coaching Moravian, there's this one player who's been really struggling with points, but they're almost always able to pull shock when we need it, or like being able to hold blue if someone angle is on a run, and like there's so much more to just like to the game than just scoring. And like I say that one because that's kind of how I am on my team, but it's important, and I think that's great that you're pushing that mindset onto them already.
Yeah, I tried to get a lot of my teammates to play. I honestly didn't even want to do it on a like top LU basis. I wanted to do on a first come, first serve. Like if you could check to say that you could play, hey, you could play. You may not be the best player on my team, but I want you to get the experience. Like I would say JoJo, JoJo on my team, she is so scared to play because she feels like she bought the game when I went back in March, every my like about a good solid three of my friends literally bought Mario Kart because like they saw me as an inspiration. I was like, that just felt so great to me. Like they bought the game and the booster pass, and I'm like, wow, y'all guys are really down with me to play this. And like they've been trying to learn, but like they see how good I am, and they're like, well, they see like I'm much better compared to them, and they're like, EyeZayah, like I don't I don't think this is for me. Like I can't get up to you. And I'm like, don't say that. I've been playing this game for years now. So don't say that. I want you to try your hardest. I want you to practice. I'm not gonna make you think that you're any less valuable because you just started the game. So yeah.
That's good. That's good stuff and good, really good, insightful stuff. Gonna move on to this next question then. So,
Mhm.
what are your goals as an individual player and as a team going forward?
Me as an individual player, I'm just gonna improve as much as I can. You know, I'm joining teams. I'm joining other teams outside of Morgan, and I'm learning more from my other teams. I'm playing in other leagues, so I'm looking forward to that. Me as an individual player, but as my team player, I'm trying to get my team to go to more lands for the experience. Of course, I'm trying to get them into more scrims, scrim whoever we can. Not named Cutstone because that's a little too much for us, but um yeah, whatever I could get them into, I try to. I see them I literally see just about like seven of my teammates every day, and we just play in the gaming lounge. We play Mario Kart every day. So like I'm very interactive with my team. It's not like I don't see them for like 2 weeks or so. I'm very interactive with them. I talk to them every day and I help them where I can. So as a team, we're just trying to get our chemistry up, looking to get our chemistry up, just be around each other more because that will help build our team better.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I think the chemistry part, especially doing that during the off season, really any way to get that chemistry is good.
Hmm.
Really important, especially like helps out with so much like being comfortable on comms, being comfortable just being around each other. Because like I like to call like people I play Mario Kart with just another family for me. So I understand that completely for you
Hmm.
guys, like getting that chemistry up, and like I'm glad you guys are able to play as much. I remember seeing like and before the season started, how Morgan State was the team that was arguably scrimming the most out of every single college team. So I was really excited to see how you guys went
Yeah.
into the season. Like, I think you guys got
Hmm.
a lot of good stuff going for the future. Like, especially because next season it's gonna be only teams that are like one school, so no more super teams, no more mixed programs. And
Hmm.
if you look at that already, just among the teams right now that are only one school, Morgan State is like I want to say third. like in the country right now, which is kind
Yeah,
of crazy.
touchdown, and I would say Michigan. We're probably. I mean, like, damn, Iona's beating us and Oklahoma's beating us, so hey, I wouldn't count them out either. But yeah, I would say that my team is like one of the best. Well, I would say we're one of the best, but we're still working on it. We want to be at the top. That is our goal.
Good goal to have overall. So if you think about it, you're kind
Hmm.
of like the veteran locker room guy when it comes to Morgan State. So
Hmm.
because like a lot of your team is like
Yeah.
really new at the game. So what's it like leading a team that's mostly brand new players?
Leading a team that's mostly brand new players. It did get a tiny bit frustrating because this is kind of fun. My team was genuinely believing that they could try to beat the meta, the Yoshi Teddy
I
Bug
understand.
or Mr. Scooty thing. Like Ronan loves to play Larry. He loves Larry so much. And Nitro loves Rosalina, who's not that bad. That's not that far off for meta, but Ronan did like Larry Clown Cart a lot, and trust me, you got Sandberg. He goes crazy in Indivs in Sandberg's league, but like I was trying to say in a team format, like I don't know if that's gonna rock a lot with Ronan, and I think you should change it. But he was so bent upon that he could probably beat it out that he was playing it, and we did lose a couple of our first scrims because of that. But he came he was able to come around eventually. He does try to bend it a little bit. He will use like Yoshi pipe frame with the gold tires, but he tries to bend it, but he's following the line a little bit. The rest of my team, like once they understood, like yeah, there's not much variety when it does come to competitive Mario Kart, but like it is how we do win, so we had to do what we had to do.
No, I understand that completely.
Hmm.
So like when I first did MKU, I think it took me until like my second or third season to actually take a meta setup. But because I was so against it, of like, but I'm like, no, it just makes sense. Like back then,
Yeah.
I was no, I didn't even play. I played the Wario Scooty at the time, and that was the closest thing I had to a meta setup back then. So it was like, and I even switched to Waluigi
Mhm.
until like I went to Buzz. So like I understand completely where it's like people like they don't want to play the meta setup. They think it's like Smash Brothers where you can win with any character. Not really, if I'm being quite
Mhm.
honest. Like no,
Yeah.
there's very much a defined meta in
Back
this game.
yeah, back in March before like I even knew anything about the meta, I played Inkling, Standard Cart, Crimson Slim Tires. And I was doing relatively well until like I joined one of these discords and Dylan was holding free for all and I was in a lobby with Elmer, Fake Fire,
Oh,
I believe Technical was in it too, and I I got humbled so badly. It was so bad. And like I realized like yeah, I tried to change to like meta like midway. I tried to play like Luigi or something, but like I had no idea what I was doing, so I just got completely rolled. And then from that moment on, like I played I played Yoshi, Teddy Buggy, or Birdo, Peach or Daisy. So yeah, it was a learning experience for me too.
understand that completely. So, oh, okay. So a lot of college players, especially at like D3, they're looking to hit free agency, maybe get onto another team for MKU or just get some more experience somewhere else.
Hmm.
So I know you recently just got added to Let 'em Cook. So what was the free agency process like for you? And you got any advice for those looking to make the jump?
Um, for free agent process for me, I was really debating to stay in MKU because these are the guys I just played with these guys. We had great chemistry, and I was like, hey, we should probably go running back, see what we could do. But everybody else did decide it was time to move on. And I was like, hey, let me see what I could go do for myself. So I did post like a looking for team post saying that, yeah, I did lose D22 finals, but I'm looking to learn and improve and be a better player. And I got a couple offers from Solar Eclipse, Rattata Racers, Let 'em Cook, obviously, and Pirate Hackers. And I ultimately decided on Cook because like they was chill with me. And I guess for like free agency for other players, I'll just say play for the team that makes you feel comfortable, man. There's a lot of these divs that there's a lot of these teams and orgs that are like really corrupted. The players are weird. They'll do some weird stuff to you, or if something happens. So like, just be careful with when you choose a team. I would say probably go to somebody that knows like a lot of the Mario Kart fan base. Like I would say Mitch. Mitch knows a lot about the
Oh
Mario
yeah,
Kart fan base. So like if you are looking for a team, I would say go to Mitch to to tell him like, yeah, this is the team I'm joining. Is this team legit or not? And he'll probably give you a great legit answer. He did for me when I was looking for teams. So yeah, he told me Retada Races was kind of iffy,
yeah.
and
I
Solar
would have said the
Eclipse was
same
kind of
thing.
iffy too. Yeah. So yeah, let them cook. There was some chill people, so I went with them.
Yeah, I would have told you the exact same thing. I would have of the teams you mentioned, I would have told you to probably stick to Let 'em Cook. Yeah, you said Solar Eclipse,
Hmm.
Rattata Racers. Don't hear the best things from them, if I'm being quite honest. So I'm happy you're with Let 'em Cook. I think that's a great fit for you over there. Talked to a few of the people on the team before, and it was like they seem like great people. So I think it's a great fit overall. And like I hit free
Hmm.
agency. I hit free agency last year around this time, and I tried for like 7 teams at once. So I understand like the process of it,
Yeah.
and it was like, and like having someone to talk to about like, because back then for me it was Gally who is media staff at the time and lives like
Hmm.
15 minutes from me, and he's like he played D2, so it was like really cool to have like that kind of guy to like tell me like about other teams. So it's like you having Mitch, really happy that it was like that for you and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then if like for all the D3s and even D2 players that are looking for a team, I will highly recommend like Bowtie of Kutztown. He does have a team. It's called U-Turn. He's a really chill guy. And I feel like that's a great place for for a lot of these players to come and start. I even got a couple of my Morgan players to start trialing there. Obsidious trialing there, Ronan is trialing there. So yeah, if you are interested, I would highly recommend U-Turn because Bo is a really cool person. He's really chill. And yeah, so U-Turn is really good spot for you to start off if you're trying to get into competitive scene.
Oh yeah, I think that too. U-Turn is one of the teams I would tell people now, especially collegiate players, because in a way it's kind of like a second
Hmm.
MK University, in just how it's like run.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of cool seeing it like that. So I think U-Turn would be another great team to have for like anyone looking to go out there, and like if anyone wants to ask about like free agency, they could probably reach out to you. You have the experience now to to
Hmm.
speak on that. So I think that's really helpful, especially for your other players at Morgan. I think that's really helpful for them as they go out and to really try to like make the best out of go farther in their career here.
Yeah, I'm hoping that a lot of my players do decide to go outside of Oregon and do try to get into other teams and try this out like genuinely. Especially Nitro. Nitro is the one that I really hope does it. He's probably like one our best player, our best gamer mechanically at our school because he not only does he play for my team, he plays for the Apex team, he plays for the Smash team, he plays for the Valorant team, and he plays for the Overwatch team. So he's probably like our most versatile player, and hoping that he could probably branch out to Mario Kart a little bit more. He's been focusing on it a lot more than his other games, so I'm hoping that he does.
That's interesting, actually. Because I know Angle is doing something similar at Moravian, not to that extent of that many games, but I know Angle plays for
Mhm.
like Mario Kart, Smash, and I want to say Rocket League as well. Maybe a few others, maybe a couple others I just don't remember. But like, it's crazy that there's a lot of players out there who are just able to like really play on a bunch of other games and play them all at a really high level.
Yeah, it's a really great thing. So yeah, I'm hoping my team just goes far. I'm proud of all of them. Even if we didn't make playoffs, I'm proud for every single one of them.
That's good to hear. Okay, well, that's gonna wrap up the interview. But before we call it, do you want to shout anyone out?
Oh yeah, shout out Wiz, shout out Elephant Mario 62, shout out Solution, shout out Fitchy, shout out Bowtie. Just shout out everybody in the community, man. Like I love y'all. Y'all made this a comfortable spot for me. Like I enjoy being around y'all.
That's great to
Shout
hear.
out Spicy.
Ah, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Well,
Hmm.
that's gonna be it then. Thank you again for willing to come on for an interview. Sad that your season's over for right now, but real proud of what you guys did over at Morgan State, and hope to see you guys back next semester
Hmm.
for see like the redemption arc, I guess.
Yes, hopefully. I'm looking forward to that. All right.
Okay, well, that's gonna be it for the interview then. Well,
Hmm.
thank you again, and have a good day, man.
All right. You too.
Okay, well, okay, 2 hours. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's gonna call it for the stream tonight. Today, I am going to get more meds because I am still feeling bleh. But thanks again for tuning in for this stream. Gonna have to get better, my man. Yeah, yeah. I'm very glad I didn't have to like coach today because I would have been an absolute mess. But I have a ton of homework to do anyway, so my bed is going to be probably where I'm going to be living for the next 2 days. But hey, gotta get those papers done. So, well, that'll be it for me tonight. Today, I'll stream again next week. I don't think we're gonna have any matches being played, but I'll probably just stream again. We'll go over what happened in semis, go over that final prediction. Maybe I'll do something great. Maybe I'll do something fun. Maybe I'll do that 96 track tier list. Maybe I'll play Fall Guys. We'll see. We'll see. But that's it for me here. So thank you again for tuning in and see you guys next week.